my imagination went one step further. It's not enough that I'm part of this tribe and married to the daughter of the chief. I need one more thing. I'm going to find a great treasure. And what will be this treasure? Well, maybe El Dorado, the lost city of the Inca. Or maybe it's going to be just some diamonds or gold, but I'm going to find treasure too. And that's my dream was complete. Now there's two types of dreamers. There's two types of dreamers. Most common dreamer, they dream when they sleep. But the other type of dreamer cannot fall asleep because the dream keeps them awake. Most dreamers dream because they're disappointed with their lives. So what they do, they dream about other life. You know what it's called? Escapism. They never do anything about it. They just dream. But other type of dreamer, they use the dream to create life. The real dream is the blueprint of life itself. As I said, you have to dream. Otherwise, nothing is created. But be the second type of dreamer. The dreamer that creates life with his dream. So, I decided the moment I'll be able to, I'm going after the dream. Well, I had to go through what I had to go, finish high school. And once I finished high school, in my country, I was drafted to the military for a mandatory 3 years, and I served in the Navy. So 3 years in the Navy, long hours, shifts, my mind is constantly dreaming, but not drifting. The dream was focused. I'm going to be a great explorer. I'm going to go to the uncharted. I'm going to find a tribe. I'm going to marry the daughter of the chief. I'm going to find the treasure. So then I finally completed my military service, and now I was free to go and achieve my dream. No, because they don't pay for mandatory service. I had no money whatsoever, nothing. So young man with no money, go and achieve your dream. Well, my father was a well-to-do person, and he could have helped me. And he said, my son, I will help you. If you go to university and get a profession, I will help you. But if you follow your indulgence, and you follow the silly dreams that you have and waste your time, you will not see 1 shekel from me. 1 shekel. So, I remember he drove me to the airport with my mother. I remember he hugged me and he was crying. But shekel he didn't give me. Not 1 shekel he gave me. So here's the next thing about dream. You need to work for them. It's not enough to dream the dream. You need to work for the dream. In fact, in the great words of the great Martin Luther King, I have a dream, I realized that it actually, the dream as me. I work for the dream. The dream holds me. It's not that I have a dream. The dream as me. You have to work for your dream. So what I did, I flew to Norway because I had some connection. It was December. In December in Norway, it was minus 17 degrees, I remember. It was freezing. I came from a desert country. It was freezing cold. The sun was rising at 10 in the morning. The sun was setting at 3 in the afternoon. There was just a few hours of light, and I was on a construction site, freezing cold, for 4 months, working really hard. And I saved enough money to take me to the United States. In the United States, I went all the way up to Alaska. And in Alaska, I found a job in a cannery. and I was cleaning fish 18 hours a day. 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, crab, herring, salmon, another salmon, halibut, all the season in Alaska. I was working in a fish cannery. It's very smelly, hard work, but that's what you have to do for your dream. You work hard. But then something happened. The year is 1981. In 1981, we don't have telephones. We don't have even fax. So, there's no communication. To communicate with my parents, I was writing a letter or a postcard from Alaska. After 4 months in Alaska, I walk in the street of that little town, and suddenly in the street, I meet Michael Steinberg. Michael Steinberg is a friend from high school. And I see him in the street of Alaska. I'm shocked. I said, Michael, what are you doing here? He said, I came to look for you. Your parents gave me the address from the letters. I said, why did you come all the way up here? He said, look, I also finished the military service. I'm in New York. I heard you in Alaska. I didn't have any other way. I came to look for you so we can have some fun together. I said, I don't have time for fun. I have a dream. He said, no, your dream can wait. Just a few weeks, let's just have fun together. He traveled, he went all the way up to Alaska. I felt for him and I said, okay. So we went down from Alaska to Washington, Seattle, Washington, and we bought an old Chevy and we started driving in the United States. We crossed Washington and Oregon, and from Oregon to Northern California, and from Northern California, we crossed the border to Nevada. And in Nevada, there's a famous city. And in Las Vegas, in one night, I lost all the money, all of it. All the money that I worked for 8 months. I lost it all. I lost the quarters, I lost the cents, until my pockets were completely empty. I didn't stop playing. I lost all the money, all of it. So, in the morning, me and Michael Steinberg were standing by the old Chevy, and we were both crying. Both of us were crying. And so, I thought to myself, well, 8 months, I lost it all. What can I do now? And I thought, what I can do now, I can call my father. And my father will say, of course, son, I will help you in such a minute. And my father will send me a ticket to go back home. And I will go back home, and I will go to the university, and I'll study and get a degree. While doing that, I'll meet, not the daughter of the chief, but some beautiful girl. I'll marry her, I'll have kids, I'll have a career. When my kid will grow up, and when my children will grow up, I will tell them, do you know who your grandfather is? Your grandfather had a dream. I was supposed to be the great explorer. I was going to go and explore the uncharted Amazon, and find the tribe, and marry the daughter of the chief, and find the treasure. But, Michael Steinberg, and now, it's important. I'll tell you why this story is so important. The dream will always give you an opportunity to betray it. The dream will give you an opportunity. There is always a Michael Steinberg in the story. Always. Look, one of the books that I read is a book by Paulo Coelho. A very famous book called The Alchemist. Okay, this is a quote from The Alchemist. The quote from The Alchemist says that when you want something, when you really want something, when you have a dream, when you are passionate, and when you follow that, you follow your dream, what will happen? All the universe will conspire in helping you to achieve it. This is Paulo Coelho. Now, I have a life experience with all the humility. This is my quote. When you want something, the entire universe will conspire to resist you with all its might. That's what will happen. The universe will not assist you. The universe will resist you. You want something, you will have to work hard. You will have to endure. Your heart will be broken. You will fall. The universe is going to set obstacles on the way. The universe will not assist you. However, this is something very important to understand. The universe will resist you. You know why? Because it's the law. It's the law. And here is where most people fall. That people think it's because of Michael Steinberg. It's not because of Michael Steinberg. It's because it's the law. Whatever obstacle will meet you, it's because it's the law. If anybody was awake in physics class, you remember the third law of Isaac Newton. Every trajectory, every force that goes into one direction, what will happen? Will meet the exact same force that comes from the other direction. If you push, it will push back against you because it's the law. It's not personal. And if you know that, you will never fail because you know you will expect resistance. And you will deal with it. And here it is. The bigger your dream, the bigger your resistance. Okay? You have a big dream, you will have big resistance to the dream. You think about it. If somebody wants to climb a little hill, okay, so there'll be a few drops of sweat running down the cheek. But if somebody has a dream to climb the Everest, what do you think? The Everest will help you? The Everest will do everything it can to kill you. That's the truth. The size of the dream is the size of the resistance that you will get, and that's okay because there is a remedy. There is a remedy for this law, and the remedy is very simple. Forward moving. Forward moving. Forward moving. Never stop. Keep walking. So now, instead of going back home, Michael Steinberg made the phone call. He called his uncle in New York, and I flew to New York and got a job at the uncle's place. I worked another 6 months unloading trucks, sleeping in the trucks at night to save money on the youth hostel, and finally I made it to South America. And in South America, I scanned every jungle. I went from Venezuela to Colombia, to Ecuador, to Peru. But I didn't find what I was looking for. Every jungle I came, there was a trail. The trail led to indigenous people. But if there is a trail, it's not uncharted. And sure enough, the indigenous people had long earlobes and piercing and tattoos and a boombox and a t-shirt, you know? I never found a tribe that were never explored before. However, if you are loyal to your dream, if you never betray your dream, if you understand that resistance is the law, if you keep on moving, you convince the universe, and the universe will yield. Dreams need to be conquered. In the streets of La Paz, Bolivia, I met a mysterious man that introduced himself as Karl Ruprechter. He said he's an Austrian geologist. And he said that as a geologist, what he does, he looks for treasures. But since he wants to find treasures, of course, he will go to the places most remote. He will go into the uncharted. And that's what he does. He goes into uncharted places in search for treasures. And he told me what's the best way to find treasure. The best way to find treasure is make contact with the indigenous people because they know the terrain. And he told me that in the following week he's going into the Madidi, the uncharted Amazon of Bolivia. And over there's a tribe called the Toromonas, a tribe that was never explored. And he's going to go and try and make contact with them. Wow. This man told me my own dream. Okay, now here, there's another big lesson for life to take, especially for you in this situation. If you tell somebody their dream, you don't need to be a salesperson. You don't need to be a salesperson. If you tell somebody their dreams, they will beg you, give it to me. Okay, I had to beg this guy, take me with you, because he told me my own dream. And I want to tell you something that is really reassuring for you. The dream of everybody, that's the oldest dream in the world, is to stay young and useful and live life fully. And that's the dreams that you have in your hand. You are the strongest people in the world. Just tell them a story, tell them about their dream, don't sell them anything. They will follow you. So, I'm going now into the Amazon with Carl Ruprechter. I have two good friends that I met on the road. They're in the youth hostel. One is a big guy. He's a strong, he's like 2 meters, 6'3" or 6'4". He's all muscle. He's an alpinist. He's a well-experienced traveler. His name is Kevin Gale. And Kevin's dream as a photographer that one image will put him in the National Geographic. So when he meets Carl, he knows he's following his dream as well. The other guy is a school teacher on sabbatical, a beautiful man called Markus Stamm from Switzerland. We form a group and the 4 of us follow Carl into the unknown. We fly as far as an airplane can take us. And then we start walking. And we walk for 4 days on the trail. But after 4 days, the trail ends. And when the trail ends, finally, I met the uncharted. It's a real place. There is a place like that. Where there is no trail, you know that nobody set a foot there before you. And we arrived at that place. But it's scary as well. It's very scary, Sometimes they say, be careful of what you wish for. Be careful of your dream. I got to this place. And then we started hacking our way with the machete. And we're entering the rainforest. And it's very difficult physically. It's very dangerous because we're walking in water. We're walking in dense bush. There's lots of animals. And we have to kill in order to eat. We shoot animals. We're not used to that. So it's all like, for a man that came from civilization, it's full on. And we walk day after day, and each day many adventures. But the sad thing is that the group started losing its bond. The real tragedy is always there. There's nothing more important for us to understand to stick together. Nothing more important than unity. Our group broke down for a couple of reasons. First of all, Carl, our leader, was an amazing leader in the jungle, but he had a few flaws. First of all, he was a pathological liar. Pathological liars, they don't know their lie. Everything he told us, it was a lie. He wasn't a geologist, he wasn't an explorer. In fact, he was an escaped criminal that found refuge in Bolivia. And he kept telling us different stories, and we realized we don't know who is this guy and where is he taking us. And we don't know if it's true, and this tribe and the gold, we don't know if it's true anymore. But he was an amazing guide. He knew the jungle very well. The other problem that we had is that one of us was weak. He was too weak. He couldn't eat the wild game that we hunted. His feet were covered with rash. He couldn't walk. He was scared and he was weak. And after a few weeks of walking, we had to make a terrible decision because it was such a sacrifice. I dreamt about this all my life. But there was a moment and we have to decide if to continue or turn back. And we had to take the moral decision and give up our dreams and turn back because Marcus couldn't walk anymore. So we turned back and we're trying to walk now heartbroken. We're trying to walk back to civilization. However, as we get to a big river, Kevin has an idea. Instead of walking all the way back, why don't we build a raft and take the river all the way down and make it to, like we had an aerial of the area. So on this map we saw that the big river will take us to civilization. So we built a raft and put it on the river. Another lesson to learn from that is that when you have a map and you move your finger on the trail, it's not the same like walking the trail. Those are totally two different things, okay? The river was treacherous. It was the beginning of the rainy season. It was extremely dangerous, and in the danger, we lost our leader because Carl was the only one that couldn't swim. So while in the jungle, he was the king of the jungle on the river, he was scared to death. Now Kevin came from Oregon. Kevin was a white water expert, but Carl wouldn't let him lead because he was too vain. I'll tell you, true leader is not about ego. True leader is about service. True leader is about making other leaders rise. So then Carl tells us, we have too many problems here. Kevin doesn't listen to me. You don't understand what we're doing. We're going to die. There's huge waterfalls. There's canyons. I don't trust you. We have no choice. We have to go back into the jungle and hack our way out. At this stage, we did something terrible. We decided to split. Kevin told me, stick with me. Let's stay with the raft. While Marcus and Carl went back into the jungle. Kevin and I are now alone on the raft. For the first 3 hours, Kevin and I are doing well. But only 3 hours into this adventure, Kevin and me alone in the jungle, You know, of all virtues in life, of all attitude, the most important is to be grateful, is to have gratitude. From that, I've experienced that. It's not just a movie, I went through that, and I remember that breath. I remember that breath. You know why? That breath was not air. When I took that breath, my lungs were coated with gold. That breath was gold. And I want to tell you that all the gold in the world will not replace one breath. And one breath we breathe all the time. If we were really understood what gratitude means, we would have to say thank you for every breath we take. And you know what will happen? We would not be able to speak, because all we do all day is we will say thank you, thank you, thank you. I was alone. I found myself on the bank of the river, and I was alone. In one day, I lost everything. I lost my friends, I lost my equipment, I lost the raft. I found myself with nothing. For the first 4 days after this accident, I had the hope that I would find Kevin, because I saw Kevin. Kevin made it to the bank. So I was sure Kevin would come down, I will walk up. So I was climbing up the cliffs, Kevin will come down and we will meet, and together we will deal with it. But for 4 days, Kevin didn't come. And I realized that what happened, Kevin, feeling responsible for me, probably jumped after me, and he probably drowned in the river, and I am alone. Realizing nobody is coming, and that I'm alone, stuck there in the middle of the jungle. My lifelong dream became my worst nightmare. And if you want to feel and see what a nightmare looked like, sometime in life, you'll have to look a jaguar in the eyes. But make sure it's a real jaguar. There is survival, and there is fake survival. And the problem with the two is that the body doesn't know the difference. For the body, imaginary survival or real survival feel the same. You know to be discerning. For these few days on the cliff, I didn't eat anything. I did find, miraculously, the rivers threw a little bag of part of my equipment, and in the bag, I even had rice and beans. But after that incident, I had no lighter anymore. I couldn't set fire, I couldn't cook, and I didn't eat anything. The rainy season has begun. For the first 4 days in the jungle, I ate nothing. In the 5th day, I stopped waiting for Kevin. I understood I'm on my own. It's not simple to come to this realization. Actually, my realization was, on the entire planet Earth, there's no greater victim than me. I am the biggest victim on the planet. Nobody is in a worse circumstances than me, alone in this uncharted, jaguars all over, no food. I am a victim of the worst circumstances possible. This is real survival. John said it better than me. Thank you for quoting me, but I'll have to repeat it. Real survival is real. Is when your life is in real danger. You don't need to learn how to survive in real survival. You know how to survive. Because life is the greatest purpose of all. And when our life is threatened, we awaken. And this awakening turns us into superhero, but for real, not Marvel. This is real, okay? All your powers are awakened. All your powers are awakened. Your physical power. A mother that went through an accident and a baby is caught under a car, a mother will lift the car. This is true story. We become superheroes. We have powers beyond what we imagine is possible. Our mental faculty makes decisions that are impossible to think about. In a split of a second, our mental faculty can take the right decision, and it does. Our emotion gives us all the support, all the backup, all the courage. Our spirit rises to connect to the Supreme, to have strong connection, to hope, to faith, to trust. All our faculties come together and they want one thing, one single purpose. Unbelievable power. This snake, I killed it. The snake didn't eat me. I stood there under the tree. I peeled its skin, I peeled its gut, and I put my teeth into it. I wasn't a victim anymore. Woo! And here is what you can take from it, because this is the true learning from this event. Look, adversity is part of life. No matter who you are, no matter how successful, no matter how rich, no matter how famous, adversity will come and meet you. Adversity is part of life. It's not up to you, and you cannot avoid it no matter what you do. The comfort zone is an illusion. Adversity will find way to you. Adversity is part of life. A victim is always your choice. A victim is not part of life. A victim is a choice. Now, for 15 days, I'm walking in this jungle alone. And in 15 days, I learned how to survive because, first of all, I'm not a victim anymore. And I've never been a victim again in my life. Never. So in the jungle, I learned how to scavenge. I'm very attent. I mainly find nests of eggs, and I eat a couple of eggs every day. Sometimes a berry, sometimes a monkey eats on the tree and leaves something on the fruit. I eat something every day, not much, but I get something to eat. At night, I'm making a shelter under a tree and covering myself with palm fronds. And each day, no matter what's going on, I am strong and I know I will survive, I will come out of this alive. However, the amount of punishment that I receive is incredible. You know, I lose a lot of weight. My entire body is one open wound because so many cuts. And you know what happened to the cuts? They don't heal because it's so wet. My whole body is one open wound. And this open wound attracts all kind of bugs and insects. And some of the insects lay larvae under the skin. And the larva turns into worms. I'm infected, my entire body. I have worms on the inside. The pain is tremendous. The worst thing is my feet, they rot until a situation that I do not have feet. I'm walking on 2 chunks of pus and blood. Open. I'm afraid to take the socks off because I cannot see that, chunk of blood and pus that became my feet. So I'm asking you, how do you deal with so much pain when there is no remedy? Because sometimes you say there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but there is no light at the end of my tunnel. Tomorrow, it's only going to get worse. I'm hundreds of kilometers away from civilization, alone in the middle of the rainy season. Every step I take, it's like lightnings of pain goes throughout my body. How can I make another step and bear so much pain? I will tell you how, and it's amazing. And this is also can be applicable